Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tune on in before I start building on the topic for the day. Hopefully, everybody is having a fabulous Monday thus far, man. Getting the week started off on a good note. Got an important topic to cover today, man. Dealing with Brother Malcolm. So give everybody a chance to tune on in, man, before we start building on this topic for the day. Hopefully everybody's day is going peaceful, smooth, positive, productive, getting things done, getting goals accomplished, and all that good stuff. Got to do some exposing, man. Got to do some exposing today, even though they exposed themselves, gave us information that we already knew. Bobby, what's going on, my brother? Oh, you already know. This new information to some, but it's not new information to us, of course. Beautiful Goddess Keys, Peace Queen, what's going on? You know, when I was reading the articles, I like how I said new evidence. We already knew what happened. So they calling it new evidence, man. We already knew this, man. We been told y'all who had a role in Malcolm's assassination. We already knew this. Ain't nothing new under the sun, but they come out here talking about new evidence. Nah, that's old evidence. Jay Valentino, peace. What's going on with you, brother? Sweet Tea, peace, Queen. What's going on? Andronicus, peace. What's going on? Terminator 1187. What's going on all the way from London? Ricky Nixon, what's going on? So we got new evidence out here implicating the NYPD and the FBI in regards to the assassination of Brother Malcolm. Again, new evidence to them, new evidence to the masses, old evidence to us. Yeah, Justin, and it's crazy. You know what's crazy about it? The crazy thing about this is this information comes to the surface after we didn't watch the whole movie about Fred Hampton with the same type of scenario. So that's kind of weird timing for me. So people out here watching what happened to Brother Fred, then all of a sudden, now they want to release this information or this new evidence when it comes to Malcolm's assassination. So it's kind of funny how this all lines up. We didn't watch the Judas and the Black Messiah. You didn't see what happened to Brother Fred. You didn't see how they sold out Brother Fred, how they assassinated Brother Fred. Now all of a sudden, same type of evidence coming out, showing and proving who was really behind the assassination of Brother Malcolm, or who had a role in it. Yeah, Bobby on his death date as well. So the timing of all of this is very interesting. Very interesting. And again, the thing of it is, it's like we already knew this, though. Like the people that have been studying Malcolm, the people that got any type of knowledge of self, any type of knowledge of Black history, we already knew this. We already knew this. See, they, the masses were the ones out here feeding into the false narrative that the FBI, the NYPD, the government didn't have a role or didn't have a hand in the assassination of Malcolm. If you believe that, you was just a fool. You was blind, deaf, and dumb. If you just seriously believe that the government didn't have a role in Malcolm's assassination, if you believe that, then you were just choosing to remain blind, deaf, and dumb to reality. That's your fault. Dominique, what's going on with you, my brother? Oh, Andronicus, you already know. You already know. Miss Donnie, CC, peace. What's going on with y'all, queens? Yeah, Justin, Black History Month on top of that, which coming to an end. So they got to go out with a bang, and they got to tell you who was really behind the assassination of Malcolm. They got to really tell you what went down. What went down. And the evidence, it was interesting. But like I said, this is stuff that I already pretty much pieced together and already knew. So if y'all don't know about it, you know, Raymond Wood, the dude who was with the NYPD, that was his letter that was released. And it says the deathbed letter was released by the former officer's family members on Saturday and read to the press. They and their lawyers say that in it, Wood claims he was ordered to lure Malcolm X's security guards into committing crimes in order to get them arrested days before the assassination took place. So what people not understanding is they thinking This is what people was thinking. Now, they also had a role in paying the people who assassinated Malcolm, but this is telling you they got rid of his defense. They got rid of his defense. They focused on the bodyguards. They say, look, we ain't gonna have nobody able to protect him, so we got rid of the bodyguards. They made the bodyguards commit crimes. They lured the bodyguards into committing crimes. That's what they did. They took away his protection. They took away Malcolm X's protection because they knew what was about to go down. They knew what they didn't pay dues to do out here. So they got rid of his protection, his bodyguards, lured them into criminal acts, arrested them before Malcolm was assassinated. See, this the type of stuff that they would do. This the type of stuff that they'll do out here. Deja, peace, what's going on? Terenzo, what's going on with you? Yeah, them plant-based pancakes be hidden. Yeah, Evan, and that's what I was saying. They was creating that division. They was creating that division, going at the Nation of Islam, making it appear as if like a lot of people were strictly hating Farrakhan, thinking that he was the only one that had a role in the assassination of Malcolm. Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, things of that nature. Not knowing the whole time we got an unseen hand. An unseen hand. Government, FBI, NYPD, whatever you want to refer to them as. But a lot of people were solely blaming the Nation of Islam, the NOI. People don't understand the tactics that the enemy utilizes in order to assassinate a leader. People don't understand that. When Malcolm was assassinated, people that really rock with Malcolm, what started happening was you had people that either they rock with Malcolm, so then therefore they started to just hate the Nation of Islam. They can't stand Farrakhan, they can't stand Elijah Muhammad, things of that nature, because they believe they were behind the assassination of Malcolm. Then you got the people that rock with Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad, and they really don't care for Malcolm like that. They feel like Malcolm betrayed Elijah and things of that nature. Whole time, the FBI behind the scenes paying people under the table and all that type of good stuff, getting rid of bodyguards. So they making it seem like on the surface it's just a Nation of Islam type of situation, when really it was a lot deeper than that. And this is stuff that I've always said. This is stuff that we already knew, but this is one thing that they not going to do. It's a rarity if they do it. But most of the time, when they want to assassinate a brother, they got to get another brother to do it. And more than likely, it's going to be another brother within the clan, within the organization, within the group that brother is a part of. See what happened to Fred. See what happened to brother Fred. So that's how they do it. That's how they do it. Listen, the dudes that assassinated Malcolm may not have even been true Muslims. They may have been paid from the rip to infiltrate. So they may not have even been true members of the NOI, for all that we know. But what did we do? We just started solely blaming the Nation of Islam for Malcolm X being assassinated. Solely blaming the Nation of Islam. Solely blaming them. I remember I would bring up the FBI, the government's involvement in Malcolm's death, and people would tell me, nah, they ain't had nothing to do with that. That was all Nation of Islam. That was all Elijah Muhammad. That was all Farrakhan. White man ain't do nothing. Government ain't do nothing. Man, that was like, if you seriously believe that, man, you just, again, was choosing to remain ignorant to the facts, to reality. Come on now, man. Malcolm was rising. Malcolm was elevating, and COINTELPRO told you they didn't want to see the rise of a black messiah, so they had to eliminate Malcolm. They had to eliminate Malcolm. And Reaper, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Wheezy Baby, of course. And what was that? Emmett Till? When that lady was about to die, it's crazy how they be doing this stuff on their deathbed, man, because they be feeling guilty. That happened with Emmett Till too. Came out and admitted that the whole situation went down because of a lie. Now, this is what we already knew. But that lady was feeling so guilty on that deathbed, she had to go ahead and tell the truth. See, they do that type of stuff when they about to die. They didn't already live their life. They didn't live to 80 or 90. Now, all of a sudden, they want to come out here and tell you the truth. This truth that we already knew. Like that lady came out and said that about Emmett Till. We already had known that. We already had known that. So you wasn't telling us no new information. Oh, that he really didn't do this, that, and the third. We already knew this. We already knew this. So you can save that. That little deathbed confession ain't saving nobody. You didn't already did what you done did. You done already got rid of Emmett Till. You done already assassinated him. You done already assassinated Malcolm. So that deathbed confession ain't doing nothing for you. It ain't doing nothing for you. It ain't doing nothing for you. We already knew the truth. We already know the truth. So you can save all of those confessions, man. You can save all of those confessions. Adrian, you say what book I'm reading? I'm reading the health book right now, man. I'm reading this right here. Nutrition Essentials for Mental Health. A complete guide to the food-mood connection. That was a brief intermission. Dude asked me what book I was reading. Had to break it down real quick. Yeah, Justin, and that was one thing that I also thought about. When they showed the movie, the Judas and the Black Messiah, when they didn't show people the Fred Hampton story, it was like that was gonna open a new can of worms, man. People was gonna start really doing the knowledge to all the deaths out here, and Malcolm was one of them. So it was like we might as well go ahead and jump ahead of that and just let them know we had a role in that before they start coming out here saying that. But again, this was stuff that was already said. This was stuff that was already known. So they not really telling us anything new. Lachelle, peace. What's going on with your queen? Thunder Scorpion, peace. What's going on with you, my brother? And Evan, that's 100% right and exact. I've actually had brothers from Africa actually tell me that they were encouraged not to associate with the blacks in America before they came over here. I've actually had African brothers tell me that actual fact. So I know that that's an actual fact, that they intentionally create that division amongst Africans and then blacks in America. They intentionally create that division. I've actually had legit Africans that came over here that told me that before they came over here, they set them down, gave them that speech to distance themselves from blacks in America. Showed them a video and everything. I was legit informed of this by an African brother. I was legit informed of this. So that's they working. But again, a lot of people, we choose to remain deaf, dumb, blind, and ignorant. So we sit here and say, oh, the Africans don't like us. Come on now. It's a lot deeper than that. It's a lot deeper than that. You will be a fool to think that the Africans, the true Africans, don't care for people that look just like them. That means you have no knowledge of African history if you think that another African brother is about to see you and not like you just off of the strength that you a black person in America. That's not how we operate. Check the history of the African. We was welcoming the Europeans. We didn't know who these people were. We was welcoming them. So why would you think all of a sudden an African is not about to accept and welcome in another black person? All of a sudden, you think that that's in the true nature of an African. The same Africans that allowed these Europeans to come on their land and they taught them everything. These same Africans that come from that same lineage, all of a sudden about to see you in America, a black person look just like them and finna just hate you off of strength of that. Not like you off of the strength of that. Come on now. That don't make any sense. That don't make any sense. We cannot believe that. You cannot seriously believe that. Cannot seriously believe that. Montel, what's going on with you? Terenzo, no doubt. No doubt. That's exactly why they get another brother to do it. It would have been way too obvious if somebody white would have assassinated Malcolm. That would have been too obvious. Just like, oh, okay, now it's obvious in regards to who did that. It's obvious in regards to what happened. So they wasn't finna go out like that. And matter of fact, the whole situation with Malcolm, that was actually perfect for them. That was perfect for them. And what do I mean by that? Because of the rift that Malcolm had with the Nation of Islam at the time. That was an easy setup. They didn't have to do much work in regards to making it look like it was just an internal beef, an internal situation, because it had already got up to that point. Malcolm and the NOI were basically already beefing. So that was easy. They didn't have to do much work to make that happen. They didn't have to do much work to make it look like they didn't have a part in that. That was real easy. That was real easy for them to do. But for the most part, they are always going to try to get one of our own to infiltrate, to sell us out. That's how they going to do it, because it'll be way too obvious. It'll cause way too many problems if they just come out and do it. Now, granted, if they got to do it, they will. If they got to do it, if they got to take measures into their own hands, then they will. They have no problem doing that. But the first priority is to get somebody that looks just like me, just like you, to do the dirt. Dominique, no doubt. And that's probably what it was, man, that conscience. She wanted to return to the essence with an empty mind, empty heart, whatever the case may be. But nah, you did what you did. Emmett Till didn't deserve that. You did what you did, and it's your fault. It's your fault. That apology was too late in the game. Oh, Thunder Scorpion, I can imagine. I've had a lot of good conversations with Nigerians. I had a lot of good conversations with Nigerians. So it's like they done created that division between us and the Africans, and it's crazy. And don't even get, like, my Hebrew Israelites really be tripping when it comes to the Africans. Not all of them, but some of them do. They really do not be rocking with Africans like that. And that is crazy to me. Now, I know why they say they don't rock with the Africans, but come on now. Come on now. That stuff be crazy, man. That's an unnecessary beef. That's unnecessary tension. Like, the last people we need to be beefing with are our Africans. Last people we need to be beefing with. I don't have any problems with the Africans. I've had some great builds, some great conversations with my African brothers. Matter of fact, I've told people this. People talking about, people will have a conversation and tell me, well, Africans, they don't like us over here. I said, man, listen, your own people don't like you over here. Your own people are blind, deaf, and dumb. Your own people do not like you. You go into your own neighborhood and it might be several people that look just like you within your own neighborhood that'll sell you out and that'll betray you. So what's the difference? So you're going to have people in America, black folks in America that look just like you that don't like you. So what point are you trying to make by saying Africans don't like blacks in America? Man, blacks in America don't like blacks in America because they've set it up that way. So to point out that Africans don't like Americans or blacks in America makes no sense to me. When blacks in America, we don't like one another because they set it up that way. They didn't create the condition for that. So we got to make that make sense, man, when we start spitting that rhetoric. Oh, Wise King, man, Malcolm X was that dude, man. They started coming out with all type of rumors in regards to Malcolm. Like I said, they had one rumor I heard calling Malcolm X homosexual and stuff like that. They was really trying to get Brother Malcolm out. I mean, they took him out, but they was trying to assassinate his character. Thunder Scorpion, man, and listen, I've had that conversation. I've had that conversation with people. People think the only reason why we get shot by the police is because of the way that we act towards the police. As you said, we get hostile, and somehow that justifies us getting shot and killed. Even I remember RZA. I forget who it was that got shot and killed. And RZA came out and said what he had said, and I don't know exactly what he said. I don't even really want to paraphrase it, but it had something to do with what you just kind of said, Thunder Scorpion. And I really don't like that, man, because it's been brothers out here, man, that been suit and tie, and it didn't end well. I mean, look what happened to Sean Bell, man. What did Sean Bell do? How many times did they shoot Sean Bell, man? How many times did they shoot Sean Bell? How did he got hostile with him? They didn't shot up kids, man. Did the kids get hostile with him? What did the kids do to deserve that? What did the babies do to deserve that? So a lot of people be like, oh, they get hostile. It's the way that they dress. It's the way that we look. It's the way that we carry ourselves. That's the reason why the police do what they do to us. Come on, man. If you want to believe, listen, the most hostility I have seen in regards to the police comes from white folks. Man, I didn't see white folks get pulled over and basically come to blows with the police, cursing them out, everything, threatening them and everything, putting the hands on them and everything. You don't get more hostility in regards to the white folks and the police. Man, them white folks, when they pull over that white man goes in on the cop. Goes in on the cop. That's all I've never seen that much hostility. But yet they walk away scot-free, unharmed. Come on now. Montel, everything gets peace my way, my brother. Oh, Dominique, you already know, man. You are anything with Malcolm, anything pertaining to Malcolm, I've seen it. And Thunder Scorpion, and that's what I'm saying. I know a lot of Muslim brothers as well that have the same viewpoint. But the problem that I have with the Muslim brothers, and if you in the NOI, you can get on here and chop it up. But the problem I have with how they view Malcolm, let's say Malcolm was a traitor, and let's say he used to date one of the sisters that Elijah got pregnant. Okay, you can point out the flaws in Malcolm, but if I point out a flaw in Elijah Muhammad, then now you want to go to war with me. So you able to point out the flaws in Malcolm, but then when it comes to Elijah Muhammad or even Farrakhan for that matter, y'all want to act like them two brothers are perfect and you can't say anything negative about them. But we can sit here and bash Malcolm all day. So that's the problem that I've also had with brothers in the NOI. They able to point out the flaws in Malcolm. They able to point out some negatives in Malcolm, like some allegations in regards to things that they say Malcolm did. But when it comes to the same thing pertaining to Farrakhan or Elijah Muhammad, then the brothers don't want to speak on that. So that's the problem I have with that. If Malcolm did some dirt, Malcolm did the dirt. We didn't all did some dirt. But if you finna point out the dirt that Malcolm did, I need for you to point out the dirt that Elijah Muhammad did, that Farrakhan did. Dealing equality. Don't just bash Malcolm and make it look like Malcolm was the traitor. Malcolm was the one that was wicked, doing some strange things out here. Elijah Muhammad also did some things that I don't approve of. I still rock with some of his teachings. I still rock with some of his books, some of his works. His message to the black man turned my life around just like it did for Malcolm. But I'd be a fool to sit here and say, analyzing his life objectively, I'd be a fool to sit here and act like he didn't do some things or say some things that was suspect to me, that was questionable to me. No man is above like that judgment or that error or that correction. No man is above that to me. But some brothers within the Nation of Islam act like Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad like they can do no wrong. But then they sit here and criticize Malcolm. They sit here and criticize Malcolm or run Malcolm through the ground. That's the problem that I have. I don't really too much care for that. You got to be able to point out the flaws. You got to be able to point out the pros and cons within everybody. So don't just make it look like Malcolm was negative. Malcolm did a lot to put the NOI on the map. Malcolm did a lot for the Nation of Islam. Malcolm did a lot for the Muslims. So for a Muslim to sit there and just bash Malcolm don't be making any sense to me. It don't make any sense to me for a Muslim to sit there and bash Malcolm, man. Malcolm was riding hard for Elijah. Matter of fact, you can tell Malcolm like his feelings was hurt when he found out some of the things that he found out about Elijah Muhammad, man, because Elijah Muhammad is responsible for transforming Malcolm. So when Malcolm came into some of the realizations that he came into about some of the things that Elijah was doing, it hurt his feelings. Hurt his feelings. It was like, man, it was like finding out that your father is corrupt. Like that hurt Malcolm. So for Muslims to sit here and be just solely bash Malcolm, I don't be appreciating that, man. I don't be appreciating that, man, because Malcolm really was never that disrespectful towards Elijah Muhammad, even in the interviews around the time when they had the rift. So I don't really be appreciating that, man. So I feel like some of the Muslim brothers, some of my brothers in the NOI need to show a lot more respect towards brother Malcolm, man. Because we really only know Malcolm for his stint with the NOI. Like Malcolm ain't get a chance to live his life post NOI for real. So we really only know Malcolm for his time with the Nation of Islam. That's what we know Malcolm for. That's what we know Malcolm for, man. So I feel like they need to respect Malcolm a little bit more. If not, then they need to point out the flaws in Farrakhan. They need to point out the flaws in Elijah Muhammad. And all of these men have flaws. We all have flaws. So we can't act like one man is just absolutely perfect. Oh, Torenzo, it's been a lot of Emmett Tills that have went undocumented. I told you I had a book on that, man, the Sloop Massacre. That happened in Texas, like in the early 1900s. That stuff was crazy. I don't know if y'all remember me mentioning that a while back, man, but due to knowledge to the Sloop Massacre, SLOCUM massacre. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy. That's one of the ones, like we know about Black Wall Street, we know about Rosewood, but that's one that went under the radar, happened around the same time, but it went under the radar. A little small town in Texas, man. It was crazy. Crazy. Like they underreported the death, so more people died than they actually reported. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. Thunder Scorpion, and there it go. There it go right there. Dominique, exactly, man. I'd have had some great conversations with African brothers, man. I'd have had some great relationships with African brothers, man. So I don't know. People need to stop buying into that false narrative, man. We be sounding crazy. We be sounding crazy, acting like the Africans don't fool with us. Do the blacks in America fool with you? You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, it's a false narrative. Because they know good and well, if we connected with the Africans, if we connected with Africa, that would be a problem. But we got to understand too that a lot of Africa was colonized as well. So a lot of Africans are subscribing to some of the same things that we subscribing to here because they was colonized as well. So within Africa, you got to find the true Africans, the ones that haven't lost their culture and the knowledge of themselves and the knowledge of their history. You got to find them within Africa because a lot of Africans have been colonized as well. And that's part of the problem too. So you got to find the true Africans, just like you got to come here and find the true Black Americans that haven't lost the knowledge of themselves or regained the knowledge of themselves. So you got to find that. Uniquely Amani, yes. I have read every book from Claude Anderson. Claude Anderson is that dude. I read that book a while back, but Black Labor, White Wealth by Claude Anderson is a very good book. Powernomics. Then he got Dirty Little Secrets. He got like 2 volumes of the Dirty Little Secrets. Both of those joints powerful. But Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth, Dirty Little Secrets, all by Claude Anderson, man. Claude Anderson is that dude when it comes to economics. Thunder Scorpion. I ain't see that. I ain't see that Antoinette P screen. What's going on? I did not see that, Thunder Scorpion. Oh, Tavon, no doubt about it. We already know that they do that. We already know. Like I said, a lot of this stuff, they bringing it to us like it's new information. You know, they like to do that, bring stuff to you like it's new information, like we didn't know this. You know, they like to make it look like we were just blind, deaf, and dumb, all of us. So they giving us this information saying, look, NYPD and the FBI had a role in Malcolm's assassination. I'm looking at them like, duh. We've been telling you this, but y'all called us conspiracy theorists. And that's another thing, too. I be liking when stuff like this come to the surface because the whole while I've been saying it, people will label us conspiracy theorists. Then they come out and they show and prove that. So I love it when that happens because it's like they don't believe me when I say it, but they'll believe it when the dude write that letter on his deathbed, or when the white folks say it. That's when they want to believe it. When the white folks give them the evidence, now it's cool, now it's believable. But when I'm out here telling you, hey, FBI, NYPD, man, they had a role in Malcolm's assassination. When I'm saying it, conspiracy theorists. White man tell you that, then you might believe it a little bit. So sometimes it takes for them to come out here and tell you stuff or tell us stuff for us to believe it. Oh, Dominique, no doubt about it. And they try to make us a criminal. They try to make us a criminal, man. They try to do me like that. We ain't gonna get into that, but they tried to create a criminal image with me just because of my locks and things of that nature. So they, the school I went to, man, tried to just make me out to be a bad guy. I'm getting detentions and things like that because I have long locks, because I'm staying true to my roots. But they got me in detention like I'm bad, you know. I wasn't doing nothing but growing my hair out, man. So I'm getting detention before football games because I got long hair, my hair past my collar. So they making me out to be a criminal. Meanwhile, I have not done anything, but they making me out to be a criminal. That's what they do to us. They start changing the rules, changing the laws. Thunder Scorpion, yes, that is where that comes from. That is exactly where that comes from. Yeah, Dominique, and like I said, man, Malcolm was hurt more than anything. He was like, "Dad, man, this dude changed my life around, and he out here doing some things that I don't deem as right and exact. I'm hurt now." So it's like, man, if I came into some knowledge, man, and it was one brother, one man responsible for my transformation, and I found out that this brother was doing some questionable things, it's like, man, that'll hurt you. That'll make you rethink a lot, man. That'll hurt you. That'll hurt you. Yeah, Thunder, Thunder Scorpion, it's a lot, and it's crazy, right? because what I'm glad that you mentioned what you just mentioned. Then they were like, he contradicted himself. The same media he said was evil was the same media he went to slander Elijah. Now, Farrakhan is my man's, but man, Farrakhan had been out here dealing with Scientologists. I mean, man, they listen. Woo, they really can't say that about Malcolm and not look at Farrakhan and Elijah and some of their relationships with some of these white folks that they call the devil, you know. So for them to say that about Malcolm is weird, because Farrakhan and them have done some questionable things in regards to the people that they criticize. So that's funny to me when they say that. Lachelle, that the Black Wall Street video, man. I don't know if y'all saw Rosewood, the movie, man, but that like stuff be wicked, man. Stuff be making you, stuff be frustrating you. Stuff be frustrating you. And then move to what happened in Philly. That was crazy as well. Hey, Bobby, man, the reason, listen, it's a lot of reasons. It's a lot of ways that we failed. I think the main thing that happened to us, I feel like that, like us being so welcoming. I feel like that was one of our biggest downfalls, just being so welcoming. I feel like that's our weakness. And I feel like that is what essentially led to our downfall, just being so welcoming, trusting, like we trust in any and everybody. We welcome any and everybody. I think that was our biggest downfall. I still think that's our biggest downfall. Too welcoming as a people. We inclusive, man. We want to include everybody. We want to include everybody. We don't want to leave anybody out. We want to include everybody. We want to bring everybody in. And I feel like that's our biggest flaw. Biggest flaw. Justin, man, me and you both, man. I want to get out there, man. I want to get to several parts of Africa, man. I know I want to go to Nigeria, though. I've already been told you come to Nigeria, we treat you like a king. So I want to go there. I want to go there. Oh, yeah, answering that, man. Claude Anderson is that dude. Claude Anderson is one of the GOATs out here, man. Claude Anderson is that dude. Definitely need to give him his flowers while he is here. But Claude Anderson is that dude. Yeah, Dominique, it was just, and that's part of my criticism with my Muslim brothers. Like I rock with a lot of NOI brothers. I rock with a lot of NOI brothers. But two of my favorite speakers and people of all time, they had some weird endings in the NOI. Y'all see one of the brothers behind me, Khalid Muhammad. His ending was also weird and strange. And y'all know what was going on with Khalid and the NOI around that time. You know, around the time that he mysteriously passed and things of that nature. So that's one of my issues with the NOI. Oh, Thunder Scorpion, I'm gonna have to check that out. Definitely have to check that out. Oh, Cameron, it was a lot of ops within the Nation of Islam. It was a lot of them within the NOI. Just like what happened to Fred Hampton. It was a lot of them within the Black Panthers. Anytime we have large organizations, you're gonna have them. You're gonna have them, sadly, because everybody got a price. So that's part of our problem, man. We got prices out here, man. You can pay us to sell our people out. So within any organization, even within Marcus Garvey, y'all seen what happened to Marcus Garvey. His what was it, secretary or assistant, set my man's up, did my man's dirty. So within every large organization, when it comes to these Black organizations, man, you got ops everywhere. You got ops everywhere. You got informants everywhere. Even within like the gangs, like the Bloods, like this stuff happens on that level. Even within gangs, you have ops, you have informants, you have all of that. You have all of that. So when you have a large organization, man, you gonna have somebody in there that's infiltrating, that's spying, that's sending word back to the enemy. You gonna have that. That's why we got to figure out methods to determine who is the op, who is the spy, who is the infiltrator. Terenzo, I wouldn't have no problem with them canceling it. Like I said, our story is 24/7, 365. Our story never stops. Aim or fix. Most definitely. That's why that's why I'm part of the culture that I'm part of. Man, we ain't necessarily got no leadership. We ain't necessarily got any leadership because that's not what it's about. You're supposed to be your own leadership. You're supposed to be your own leader. So we ain't got to be waiting on anybody to give us direction. You know what I mean? We don't have to wait on that. If one happens to rise up that's influential, cool, but you ain't necessarily got to wait on that. You can create your purpose and start making your moves without a leader telling you to do that. So that's what it really all boils down to. We need to start making our moves, figuring out our purpose, discovering our purpose and our role in this struggle, in this fight, in this war. And we need to start living out that purpose. You don't need anybody to tell you that. You got the power to tell yourself that. So I'm always on board for that. Dominique, no doubt. No doubt. Like I said, they be out to make us a criminal even when we ain't even did anything. So they criminalizing the image. So they making people look at my image and see a criminal. Meanwhile, I'm probably the nicest dude on the planet. I'm the most peaceful dude on the planet, probably. But you see my image, they done made a criminal out of my image. So when people see my image, or certain people, when certain people see my image, they think criminal. They think thug. They think something like that. Because that's what they have done. Terrell, I'm gonna check that out. Thunder Scorpion, man, I ain't even know that jewel about Farrakhan. I ain't even know that jewel. I ain't even know it. Yeah, Dominique Rosewood was definitely crazy. Definitely crazy. Y'all say peace to the wife. Now, about getting vaccinated and stuff to go to Africa, it's a way around all of that. So whether or not they try to force it or not, it's a way around all of that. But y'all see what's happening with the, we didn't already talked about that, but y'all see what's happening with the COVID. They didn't got the little vaccine out here, and now they telling you that the numbers are declining and things of that nature. So y'all see that happening, don't you? Yeah, I heard some good things about Ghana as well. Yeah, Tavon, I got a few. I know I actually trained somebody that's from Jamaica, and she be going back home kind of often. Yeah, Lorenzo, and it's just crazy. It shows you, it shows you the power that they really possess, man. The way that they got us all bad psychologically. Like it's crazy. They got us thinking that we are the minority when in reality we not. So that's that trick. Not now. Elijah Muhammad coined that, called the stuff trick knowledge. That's the trick knowledge that they do. That's the trick knowledge that they dish out on us. They got you thinking that you the minority. They got you thinking that we straight the minority when really we the majority. But they got us believing we the minority around here. That's that trick knowledge. So exactly what Lorenzo was talking about, that's trick knowledge. That deception, that force, that brute force, like all of those tactics that they utilize, man, to keep us psychologically enslaved to them. Oh, Lachelle, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I can see that, man. You know how I go when they see us with the hair out here. Thunder Scorpion, you say the Fulanis in Nigeria are slaughtering a lot of herdsmen. The president's Fulani, so a lot of cover up and stuff going on. Yep. Sound like I ain't gonna be going there then. Yeah, Dominique, man, that's just the way a lot of us are by nature, man. Just naturally. We just too welcoming. We gotta stop doing that, man. We let that guard down instantly almost. Instantly. All right, CC, there we go. That's what you recommend. Airview, peace. What's going on with you? Victoria Island. That's what, yeah, I've heard about Victoria Island. Nero, peace. What's going on? Oh, yeah, Nero, they brainwashed everybody, man. Brainwashed everybody. Brainwashed everybody, but we already know why they did that. CC, I'm already knowing. Like I said, I've had decent every African brother and sister that I came in contact with, it was nothing but peace. I get more hostility dealing with the blacks in America. So when people start acting like that, I always got to bring that up. Always got to bring that up. Like I always got to bring that up, man. You get a lot of hostility from your own people here. So to just be acting like it's just solely the Africans that don't like us, listen, man, you can go walk around the corner, you're going to get a bunch of mean mugs. So that's dead, man. That's dead. Yeah, Nero, man, I've heard that about Jamaica, like the air quality. I definitely heard that. We know the air quality pretty much where we at on this side of town is garbage. That's one of the silent killers that they have for us, man. The air quality. The air is so polluted. That's an underrated killer right there. It's an underrated silent killer. The air quality. JFW 321, peace. What's going on? Angelic, what's going on, man? We dropping the knowledge about them coming out, basically telling us the truth that we already knew about, Malcolm. And we talking about some of their tactics, the FBI, government, CIA, whatever you want to refer to them as, some of the tactics that they utilize to assassinate us, silence us, hush us up, whatever it is that they want to do or that they choose to do to us. That's all we building on and chopping it up on. But yeah, they got the air so polluted, man. The air so filled with poisons that, like, man, you walk outside and you just breathing in nothing but toxins. Dominique, man, I was sitting, my peoples had, right when I was going to college, when I graduated high school, my peoples had moved into a decent neighborhood, better neighborhood. I never forget it, man. A cop pulled up on me when I was parked outside of the house. I guess we didn't look like we could afford that type of crib. Pulled up on me, man. I was parked outside. I had just went to the gas station, man, to get snacks. That was back in the day when I was eating like a savage, man. So I went to the gas station, got some snacks, and I was parked at the crib. Dude pulled up on me, asking me the address and all type of stuff, harassing me just for sitting at the crib. Dude bothering me, and I'm just sitting in the crib. I'm just sitting in the car at the crib, just had pulled up. And lo and behold, after that happened, man, we got a lot of situations where the cops running up on the same type of situation. Dudes ain't coming out alive. So I was like, man, I could have lost my life at that point. I took that for granted, man. That dude could have ended me right there, that cop. Because it was dark and all of that. So I took that situation for granted, man. I was really thankful and grateful that I walked away from that, because that could have turned out a lot worse than it actually did. It was a little young white cop too, so you know they be having a lot to prove, man. Dude pulled up on me and I'm just parked, just pulled up. So it wasn't like I was suspicious. It ain't like I was sitting there for 20, 30 minutes. Just had pulled up. Just had pulled up and parked maybe for like 1 minute and dude was on me. And I ain't bothering nobody. So that could have went down. That could have went down for no reason. The great unknown. That's how I be. Ask you, do you own the car? You thought you was finna get a simple speeding ticket, but then they talking to you like, do you own this car? Thinking you done stole the car. So they done went above and beyond speeding to, do you own this car? Now they finna charge you with stealing the car. That's the type of stuff that they be on, man. That dude legit asked me what was the address to the crib. Meanwhile, the whole idiot ain't realized that the address was on the mailbox, and I was looking right at the mailbox, so I easily could have tricked dude. But it was like, come on, man. Like you could look in this car and see that I got snacks, man. You could see that I just went to the store, man, to get some snacks, bro. So like, leave me alone. But nah, dude out here quizzing me, asking me the address and all type of stuff, man. And all I was doing was parking. But people want to act like racism, like and stuff like that don't really exist. Like, come on, man. Like that happened to me, and that wasn't too long ago. That wasn't 40 years ago. You know what I mean? Like this stuff is still out here, man, alive and well. And that was before, let me say this too, that was before Donald Trump too. That was Obama's presidency when this was happening to me. So this stuff ain't never go anywhere, man. The racism wasn't underground when Obama was it. Like it was overt. It was above the ground as well too. We just wasn't highlighting it then. Down the Scorpion, man, and that's what the news should be about. But nowadays in America, like I said, the news acronym for American news is negative energy within society. That's all they display. So they done took news and corrupted it, made it something very destructive and counterproductive. That's what they have done to news now. Aim or fix, you talking about like the indigenous, the whole indigenous movement. I'm starting to have a problem with it because they trying to disconnect us from Africa, and they doing this intentionally so they can get the credit for Africa. So now they trying to tell black people, listen, they trying to disconnect the black folks from Africa, and they trying to make it look like we didn't originate in Africa, so what y'all not realizing what they doing here. They trying to whitewash Africa. They trying to whitewash Africa. And one of the ways that they is doing it is by saying, look, y'all was here, y'all indigenous to America. So they finna be saying that for so long. Then next thing you know, you gonna look up at Africa. They gonna be telling you that everything white came out of Africa. And then they gonna tell you everything originated out of Africa. So they trying to give us other places and say we originated from, y'all was here in America first. Y'all was here in America. Y'all originated out of America. Y'all ain't connected to Africa. Meanwhile, we know everything originated from Africa. So if they eliminate us and say, okay, no, boom, y'all were not in Africa. Y'all not indigenous to Africa. Y'all indigenous to the Americas. Then they can take credit for Africa. Then they can take credit for the origin of everything, for the origin of existence. That is what they are doing. Yes, we touched every part of the planet before they did, but everything originated out of Africa. Oh, aim or fix. It's mostly when you hear that it's black people. Mostly when you hear that it's black people, man, they trying to disconnect us from Africa so tough. But best believe it's some white folks behind it. They getting these black people to come out here and teach that and preach that, but it's some white folks behind that. But we got to understand what's being said. We not saying that there may not be cases where you have some of us being indigenous to here, because again, we touched everywhere before they did. We traveled, we explored, we did that. We definitely did that. But we telling you everything originated from Africa. They know that. They tell you that. But they trying to disconnect us from it. Once they do that, then they can take credit for everything in existence. They can say, listen, y'all was indigenous to America, but see, everything started from here. That's where we came from. They whitewashing history right in front of our faces, man. Right in front of our eyes. That's what they trying to do. So I have to, when I build on that, I have to clarify that I say everywhere that we go, we at home, but we originated from this particular piece of land. That's what I'm saying when I started saying those type of things. Everywhere we go is our home. Yes, because we travel. We touched every piece of land before they did, before anybody else did. So we did that. But we came from somewhere. We originated from somewhere. So we can never disconnect from where we originated from. Beautiful Goddess Keys. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. That should be outlawed. Just like they wouldn't want me teaching they kids about white history. They wouldn't want, matter of fact, they can't stand it. They don't want their kids listening to some of the stuff we talking about in regards to the history of the white man. They don't want that happening. They don't want them to do that. But then they feel like it's right for them to teach us about our story. We can't allow that. We can't allow that. Angelic, yeah, when they start saying racism doesn't exist, man, I always get a kick out of those conversations. Always get a kick out of those conversations coming from, especially when it comes from white people. When white people sit here and tell me racism doesn't exist, and they say it confidently, or they act surprised when I talk about some experiences that I may have just had recently. Like, those conversations are always hilarious. 6 USF bomber. Yeah, everything was whitewashed. But what I'm saying about America is that what they trying to do is say that we solely came from America. That is negative. No, we was everywhere. We traveled everywhere. So you can say we indigenous to everywhere if you want to say that. But to act like we only have the right to claim one piece of land, negative. That's why I don't get into that debate. Oh, we indigenous to America. We indigenous to Africa. Man, we are indigenous to everywhere because we traveled and we touched everywhere before they did. But we came from one particular place first. Then we spread out. That's the part where I don't want people to miss when I say that part. But yeah, America was definitely whitewashed. We already know that. We already know it was people here before they so-called discovered it. They admit that. They tell you that when you study what was written back then, they let you know it was other people here. So of course it was whitewashed. I know some people that got that true Indian blood in them, man, and they be telling me what their grandparents be talking about, man. They grandparents can't stand white folks. Like the true Indians. Them true, and they can't stand the white man almost as much as we can. Can't stand them. I remember this dude was gave a presentation about his grandfather back in college, and that's what he was talking about. He was like, man, never trust a white man because of what they came out here and did to him, did to us. Tavon, man, I would have just had to stare at her and hit her with a really. Yeah, don't give them that reaction. Never do that. Oh, Terrell, and they trying hard to do that. They trying hard to disconnect us, man. Trying hard, and a lot of us are falling for it. They trying hard, and they almost succeeding. Angelic, and that's all, and that's what I be saying, and that's what I be saying. So I don't. All of a sudden now, people just want to claim America as basically that's where we came from. Listen, man, like listen. Stop trying to disconnect from Africa. That's just not even right. Don't even make any sense. Like scientifically speaking, historically speaking, like trying to dissociate yourself and disconnect yourself from your African roots is ignorant, and you need to just stop doing it. Thunder Scorpion, that's crazy, but I can see that though. That's crazy. I can see her saying that, but you you sent her the right clips though. Angelic, man, and I thought this was evidence. I thought that was the evidence. I thought that we already had the evidence out here showing and proving that, but apparently people don't care about evidence. John Burke, and that's exactly what I say. And that eliminates all confusion. When I say we indigenous to the planet Earth, when I say that, that eliminates all confusion. But if we want to look at it from a continental perspective, we definitely came out of one place first, then we migrated and traveled. But on top of that, like I said, the planet belongs to us, man. So I ain't really worried about it. Six USF bomber, and that's all it is, man. They gonna trace it down. They keep tracing it down far enough, then they gonna find those roots. Dominique, it don't take long to show and prove that racism exists. For one, all you got to do, listen, the easy way to show and prove that is to just look at the school system and just show some simple things that are being taught in the school. That's the easy way to show racism exists. And then another way to show racism exists. All I got to do is go pull up the main corporations out here. And I can just go pull up, like the corporate execs, the people on at these high positions in corporate America. You're gonna see the same type of structure. You're gonna see the white man at the top with a bunch of his fellow white male friends, and you're gonna have the white women secretary and things of that nature. Then you're gonna have a few token blacks. That's it. It's gonna be the same structure, same little structure, same structure everywhere you go, everywhere you look. Lindell, peace. What's going on? Aim or fix. You say nail fungus. A raw food lifestyle. Go on like a raw food fast. That'll clear that right up. Raw food fast, man. Raw fruits, raw veggies, organic. So go raw. That'll clear that right up. Yeah, Tavon, you're going to see that just every corporation, you're going to see the same type of structure. You're going to see the same type of hierarchy. You're going to see it. Same one. Never fails. I paid attention to this working in the banks. I was like, man, all these banks are set up the same way. They set up the same way. Now, you're going to have a few rare cases where you may have like a white woman at the top. Change the game up a little bit. But for the most part, you're going to see that white man at the top. Righteous Reese. Yeah, man, a lot more people are becoming conscious, but guess what? Still ain't enough. Still ain't enough. We still got a lot of work to do. Still got a lot of work to do, man. It's because we becoming conscious to certain things, but it's still some things that we not letting go of, man, when it comes to consciousness. Like politics is one of the things that we not letting go of when it comes to consciousness. We still getting tricked. We still getting bamboozled when it comes to politics. And even certain things like what we eat, nutrition, we still getting bamboozled with that. So we still got a long way to go when it comes to consciousness. Like, yeah, we watch some of these movies and we be like, dang, that's messed up what they did to us. But then we turn right back around and wear a sticker that say I voted. So we still do things like that. Even most of the people that come into consciousness. Or we be like, man, we watch a movie and we see the wicked ways that they treating us. Then we still turn around and continue to celebrate these days that they give us. These so-called holidays. Like, we still not fully separating ourselves from this system, from the corruption, from the white man, the way that we need to. Ooh, CC, yep. I got a book. I think it was a book called I got a book that talks about that. Y'all know me, I'll be having to bring up sources, man, when people say some things that resonate. Let me see, where the book at? It's called Ancient and Modern Britons. And it talks about exactly what you just said there, CC. First modern man in England was black. A lot of people don't be knowing that, but I got a book that shows and proves that reality. Oh, Thunder Scorpion. I can imagine. I've had a lot of situations. I was dealing with a young Arab dude at the bank, man, and that dude was on that type of vibe as well. He was on that type of vibe as well. Things that he had seen on TV, man, and just thinking that we all the same way when it comes to like entertainment and music and all that type of stuff. Kind of had to correct him. Oh, Thunder Scorpion, man. Man, listen. Now I ain't had one of them use that word on me, but I didn't experience similar situations dealing with them. Especially when it comes to like the music and then the way they just try to converse with you. They try to be hip, as we say, man, using all type of ebonics. So you can tell that they didn't study this. You can tell that they didn't study this. You can tell that they was fascinated with us. They trying to talk like us, try to dress like us, try to listen to what we listening to. You can tell that they didn't study the original man, as we call it. So they did their homework. At least they try to do their homework. Oh, Thunder Scorpion, they real disrespectful to the women. They real disrespectful. Real disrespectful. Real disrespectful. DJ Elmo, what's going on? Original one. What documentary you talking about eugenics, man? I ain't seen a few things about eugenics, selective breeding, and all of that. I done seen a lot of different things about eugenics, though. What we call the grafting process and things of that nature. Beast reincarnated, what's going on? But yeah, Thunder Scorpion, them Arabs can get real disrespectful when it comes to the women. Yeah, DJ Elmo, that's the book. I think it's like 2 volumes to that particular book. Yeah, but I had some situations, man, where they was getting disrespectful to the women I worked with, and we wasn't having that, man. We not servicing you when you come in here disrespecting not only us but the women around here. You ain't finna disrespect these sisters out here. For one, they not having it, but secondly, we not having it. You know, so we ain't finna let you come over here and think you finna talk to our women the way you talk to yours. Like, nah, it ain't happening like that. Oh, Thunder Scorpion, that's crazy. That's crazy. And aim or fix. You said you tried to donate a few times, but it says my country is not available. I'm from the Caribbean, by the way. Any tips? I like to give some support sometimes. Bless, man. That's crazy. I don't even know. Like, if you got PayPal or something, you probably can get through with PayPal. I don't know. Man, but I appreciate you attempting to donate, but I have no idea unless you got like Cash App or something along those lines. Beast reincarnated. You say how to fix I was about to say contemplation. Constipation. I would say do some fasting, man. Do some fasting and then focus on going plant-based, getting more fiber in your system. So you really want to boost your fiber. You get enough fiber in you, then you're not worried about constipation, man. It's gonna clear itself out. So get your fiber in, get you some dark leafy greens, eat you some beans, get that fiber up. Do you some detoxing and cleansing and things of that nature. But for the most part, focus on getting that fiber up when you're trying to solve the problem of constipation. For the most part, that's the cause of that lack of fiber. So you want to increase your fiber intake. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, they not going to the motherland. And I feel like that's what we need to actually be striving to do. At least visit it from time to time, you know. Oh, Angelic, I just saw that, man. Peace to you, Angelic. You be easy out here. Oh, original one, man. I didn't see it, but I heard about that. I heard about that one. I didn't see that. Like, I didn't watch it, but I heard about it. Heard about it. Heard about it. Placed them in a zoo. I heard about that, though. I didn't watch it, though. I got to watch it. I heard about that, which doesn't surprise me. Not shocking at all. But I definitely heard about that joint, though. So I got to watch it, man. But eugenics and selective breeding and the whole grafting process and the grafting science, man, that stuff gets deep. That stuff gets deep, and a lot of people don't really know the science behind eugenics. A lot of people actually don't think that that's an actual thing that happened, which is kind of crazy and interesting. But we know for a fact, like, eugenics is out here, was out here, still is out here. Selective breeding, things of that nature, was out here, still is out here. So a lot of people sleep on those things, man. Eugenics and selective breeding. Like, that stuff is still going on. And I bring up selective breeding in Hollywood terms. That's why when you see certain people that's together and it just look like they almost was forced to be together, I feel like that's some selective breeding going on. I feel like that's a selective breeding going on. Now, of course, I don't have the evidence to show and prove that, but I feel like that's why they match certain celebrities together, or at least attempt to, for selective breeding purposes, man, because they got a history of doing that. They got a history of doing that. So selective breeding is something that has happened, and it's something that still happens. So when you see two people together and it just look like, man, they don't even look like they care to be with each other, selective breeding may be where that stems from. So that selective breeding science can get deep, man. That selective breeding can get deep. And like I said, a lot of people don't know that it exists out here. A lot of people don't think that it exists out here, man. But that's some actual science. That's an actual fact. That stuff is out here. And Airview. And I'm glad you said that, because when you really think about it, and you might be laughing, but honestly, a lot of us subconsciously do that. A lot of us subconsciously do that. A lot of us subconsciously practice selective breeding because we're not going to breed with any and everybody. So a lot of us subconsciously, we do that. So that's just something to really think about on a deeper level. A lot of us subconsciously are already doing that. Now, when they created the whole divide between dark skin and light skin, guess what? People started selectively breeding based off of that when they thought that they wanted to have a baby with somebody that was light skinned because they have good hair. See, that's just ignorant, though. That's ignorant, but that's like selective breeding unconsciously or consciously. But it's like a lot of us actually practice that. Oh, Nero, man. I mean, you know how it is for some people, man. You could give people a million documents and they still won't necessarily not even believe it, because when somebody give you the proof, it ain't nothing to believe. It's something to accept. So you can give people a million documents and they still won't accept the evidence, accept the truth. And so at that point, I don't even entertain conversations with that said individual anymore, because now you're just choosing to remain ignorant. Yeah, Tavon, that fast food equates to a fast death. Terenzo, yeah, they don't care about the evidence. They don't care about the evidence. Yeah, Nero. And that's what I'm saying, man. It's out here. It's out here still being practiced. It's still being practiced. Still being practiced with wicked intentions as well. Yeah, Terenzo, the interracial relationships, and yeah, when people get mad at you for saying, "No, I'm gonna rock with my own. I'm gonna rock with the home team." People act like that's the most offensive thing that you can say. I don't see anything offensive. Like if a white dude came out and told me he don't date outside of his race, I'm not gonna be mad at that. I'm gonna applaud that. Like I'm gonna applaud that. Like that's cool. That's fine with me. I'm not gonna look at him and say, "Man, that's messed up. Love shouldn't have no color." No, I'm not gonna say that. But as soon as I say, "Listen, I just choose to date within my race. I'm not attracted to any other race, any other group of people," then people act like I just said the most wicked thing known to man. Oh, Tavon, yeah, you was dealing with an ignorant brother right there. You was dealing with somebody who was ignorant. That's exactly what you was dealing with. Oh, Terrell, you already know. Ain't no irony, ain't no coincidence. All by design. All by design. We already know how that's going. We already know how that's rolling. We already know it. We already know what's going on there. Yeah, Tavon, the fast food is just poison. Killing you slowly, killing you fast, killing you all type of ways. Yeah, Nero, and for the most part, it's all about the money, man. That's why a lot of people doing it. It's all about the money, man. It's all about the money. They getting some nice paydays for doing that wicked stuff, man. It'd be about the money. When you see people doing wicked things like that, they getting paid. They getting paid handsomely to do that. They getting paid handsomely to do that. Wicked, man. And Nero, and that's the thing. I don't even listen. The laws and Constitution, they not really gonna change because we know who created the laws and the Constitution. We just got to create our own. We got to create our own because they not gonna change it. They not gonna change it, and they not gonna put any of us in a position to change the laws and Constitution. So we got to create our own system and create our own laws and Constitution. That's the only thing that can happen because they're not gonna change them. They're not gonna change them. They're not gonna change them to benefit us and equal the playing field and even out the playing field. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. They just not gonna do that. They got to make the laws and the Constitution in a way that gives them the upper hand and the advantage. That's how they will always design the laws and Constitution to give them the upper hand and the advantage. Always. All 100% of the time. Even if they rewrite them, they still gonna have the upper hand and the advantage. All the shell. Listen, I made a status years ago. Said, listen, when you call my hair nappy, that's a compliment. When you say I have nappy hair, or you say I'm nappy headed, you have just given me one of the best compliments that you could have given me by calling my hair nappy. That's a very good compliment. Like that is a compliment. I'm thankful that you have just called my hair nappy. So you are not insulting me by saying I have nappy hair. Not insulting me at all because that's good hair to me. That's great hair, actually. Great hair to me. Yeah, Justin, I saw the double mask theory. I'm not, listen, they ain't doing it, man. Like one mask is enough. I'm not wearing double masks. I'm not wearing two masks. It's not happening. I ain't doing it. One mask, good enough. Barely want to wear that one mask. Like I said, I've been out here thriving. I've been out here feeling good, doing good, man. So I'm straight. I don't need to put on another mask. I'm good. Lorenzo, no doubt. And that we possess the power to change all of that. Not even change. See, I don't even want to focus on changing. We just must create. See, we are the makers, the owners. Like, we create. We make. Like, it's time for us to create. We don't need to change anything. Let them have their little system because they're going to do it. They're going to have it anyway. We just got to create. CC, you already know, man. I'm in tune. They be like, man, you gonna ever cut your hair? No, I'm good. If they closing doors on me because of my hair, then I don't need to be in that building anyway. I don't need to be in that building anyway. Hence why I created opportunities for myself, because I already knew the discrimination that was gonna come with somebody that has the image that I have. The Terminator, man, there it is. Yeah, Tavon, they can keep that mask business, man. I'm good. Like I say, man, I pop my, like, I eat clean, man. I pop my little, you know, supplements, my little elderberry and things of that nature, man. And I'm good to roll, man. I don't need all these masks and all that. I don't need one, let alone two. Eli, Ohio, most definitely. And the thing about it, Anais, Peace Queen, what's going on? And most definitely, we definitely need to free ourselves from that. But even still, you can call it nappy all you want on my end. It ain't offending me. I know what it is. When you call my hair nappy, I'm like, cool, bet, thank you. You know, thanks. That's what you're gonna get from me. You're not gonna get somebody that's offended. I'm like, all right, bet, thank you. Appreciate it. Compliment. But Eli, I'm glad you brought up about the truth setting you free, but first it will piss you off. Another thing, too, that the truth will initially do and cause, it will cause distance between you and the people around you. Always happens. I don't know one person that has come into a certain truth and it didn't cause friction amongst the friends and family at that particular point in time. So that's one thing that it will definitely do. And a lot of people can't handle that. And then another thing too that the truth does, it creates that conflict. What type of conflict does it create? Well, the conflict it created within me was that I was coming into all of this powerful information, but I was like, man, what is the purpose of me coming across this powerful information? I know it ain't just for me to take this information in and not share it. So when you start coming across this information, then you start to feel like you got a duty to share that information. Then that's when that friction is going to manifest, because now you feel like, man, I'm coming across all this valuable information, but I don't want to sit on it. So I'm eager to get this information out. So the first people you start spitting this information out to are the people that's closest to you, family, friends. You start spitting that information out to them. Then that's when that friction, that's when that conflict, that tension, that's when it will arise. But when you first come into that knowledge, man, it's like it creates that spark, man. You be wanting to share that information with everybody because you like, man, guess what I just found out? And you want to let everybody know. But you're going to soon realize that that's not a wise move, because people are not as eager to learn as you are. People are not that thirsty for that type of information as you might be. You will soon realize that once you start coming across this information. Righteous reach, no doubt about it, making our own way. That's all that we can do, all that we should be striving to do. Anais, I ain't never cutting it. Never. Every time somebody asks me that, I laugh. And they be like, what's funny? I said, man, that's funny. Like, I be thinking they be joking. Yeah, Tavon, you got to be bold, man. You got to stand on your square. You got to stand on that truth. You got to do it. And again, like we talk about, you got a duty. So when you come across this truth, each one teach one. You have got to share that information. You got to let people know about this information. So it's the reason why you're coming across that information. You're not coming across this information to just help you. You're coming across this information, yep, to help you, but then to teach others, to teach those that don't know. And guess what? That's going to be a stressful period because a lot of people are going to shun you, but you got to stand on that truth. You got to stand on it. Uniquely Amani. And that is where the problem lies. And that's when a lot of people get discouraged. Because the first people, like I said, that you're going to try to teach or try to get that knowledge to, family and friends, and they're going to be the main ones that shun you. They're going to be the main ones that are not receptive. That's why nowadays I don't even really focus on them. I don't even focus on them. The people that's going to appreciate you the most going to be people you may never meet in your life. That's who you focus on. Or you focus on the babies. What we was taught was to focus on the babies. So we be trying to focus on changing the minds of adults. Problem number one, focus on the babies. If you got babies, you focus on them. If you be around, baby, you focus on the babies, you focus on the youth. That's who I focus on. I focus on the people that's underneath me. That's who I focus on teaching, man, because you're going to be out, you're going to walk around depressed, stressed out, trying to teach the adults that's around you. Because they're going to be looking at you like, man, you just yesterday, you ain't know all this. So I don't even waste time with it. Yeah, Terenzo, and you know they try to duplicate and emulate everything that we create. Our Airview, you already know they want the locks, man. They want the locks. They wish they could grow their hair like we do. Nias, man, when you striving to eat healthy, when you striving to read books, when you striving to watch documentaries, when you do all of that, when you change the way that you speak, you do all that. You do all that, man. You gonna get a lot of hatred. You're gonna get a lot of hatred, a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy amongst your own circle. Tony Briscoe, it's ways to naturally reverse the balding process via what you eat. But I mean, hey, if you gotta rock the bald head, rock the bald head. Shoot. Like, man, we got some of everything within our culture. We got some of everything within our culture, man. If you gotta rock the bald head, rock the bald head. If you gotta rock the waves, whatever you gotta rock it. We diverse, we versatile. Yeah, Nero, and most definitely. And that's why they tell us to always focus on the youth. Like, what are you teaching the youth? What are we teaching the youth? Like, that's what we got to focus on, man. That's why I never really blame the youth for their particular situation. Like, we like to blame the youth for the way that they acting out here. But at the end of the day, man, they got that from somewhere. It's a reflection of their upbringing, a reflection of the adults that had them and raised them. Like, that's all that is. So we just got to do a better job of reaching the youth and teaching the youth. We teaching the youth destructive ways, and they just emulating that. They emulating that. We can't sit up here and blame the youth. You sitting around here blaming a 16 or 17-year-old for something, man. They 16, 17. All they have been doing is watching the adults around. That's all they've been doing. That's all they've been doing. So when that 16, 17-year-old conducts himself in a certain manner that we may view as negative, like, where do you think he's getting that from? Where do you think he got that from? That's where we got to point the finger. Like, that's where we got to point the finger, man. So again, we like to be like, oh man, I don't understand this generation. This generation, this, that, and the third. It ain't no talking to this generation. That's the problem. To think that you can't sit up here and talk to the youth. Like, go back and think about when you were the youth. Guess what your elders were saying about you and your generation? They were saying the same exact freaking thing. So that's what be funny to me, man. When you were young, when you were 16, 17, the adults were saying the same thing about you that you saying about the youth currently. They were saying the same thing. They didn't understand y'all. They didn't feel like they could talk to y'all. They were saying the same thing. Ain't nothing new under the sun. So stop acting like that wasn't the case. Stop acting like when we were young, we were these angels, we were these saints. Come on now. When I was young, they were saying the same thing. I remember it to this day. They were saying the same thing about my when we was young, when we was 18, we was 17, 16. They were saying they didn't understand us. They couldn't talk to us. Now they saying the same thing about my nephew's generation. So it's like, come on now. We saying the same thing. We repeating the cycle. We repeating the cycle verbatim. Uniquely Amani, products of their environment, change the environment. And that's what I said. You either become a product of your environment or you produce the environment that you would like to see or be in. But for the most part, we become products of that environment. So we got to find more producers out here. We got to start producing the correct environment. That's what we got to start focusing on instead of becoming products of an already toxic environment. We got to start being producers that produce the environment that we would like to see and thrive in. That's what we have to focus on doing. That is definitely, we got to get that village mentality back, because for the most part, if you in a neighborhood and that neighborhood is destructive, for the most part, 90% of the people, maybe 95% of the people that's in that bad neighborhood, they gonna get consumed by that toxic neighborhood. It's gonna be a select few that's gonna make it out of the neighborhood. But for the most part, most people gonna stay in that neighborhood and be consumed by that toxicity, be consumed by that destruction. So we just got to start changing that environment, as Uniquely Amani stated. And that's a tall task, but we gotta stay persistent. We gotta stay persistent. And it always be funny too when you know, black folks appear to make it out here and then they move to these white neighborhoods. And them white neighborhoods don't necessarily treat them accordingly. You know, you done got you a little decent job. You done made it out here. Now you move out there with the white folks and now they treating you like you a criminal still. You working at the same places they working at, but they still treating you like you a criminal. They still not accept you. Matter of fact, they don't want you to be there. And if 2 or 3 more black people move in that neighborhood, then they gonna move. And then the property value gonna go down. That's what be happening. And that'd be crazy, man. They don't want you. They do not want us where they at. And we be thinking we doing something, moving where they at. Well, soon as enough of us move to where they at, they start moving and relocating. Eli, Ohio, you already know what it is, my brother. You already know what it is. But that's how they do it, man. Y'all know the black folks think they done made it. Move out there with the white folks. White folks like, hold on. Then 2 or 3 more black folks move out there. Then it's time to relocate. Time to relocate. White flight. They get up out of there. They get out the game. So that's always funny to me when that starts happening. But we definitely got to change. We definitely got to change the environment. And then the people that, like I said, make it out, man, stop forgetting where you came from. I'm not saying you got to stay in your neighborhood, because we know how that can end up for a lot of people. But man, stop acting like that ain't where you came from. Stop acting like that ain't where you learned the game. Stop acting like that. Stop acting like you better than the people that you just left. You know what I mean? Stop acting like that. Stop acting like you above the people that you literally just left yesterday. Now all of a sudden you above them. You greater than them. Stop acting like that, man. You need to bring yourself down to earth. Stop acting like you better than somebody because they didn't gave you this position in this corporation. You the token black in this office. Stop doing that, man. Stop doing that, because at the end of the day, when it boils down to it, they gonna view you the same way that they gonna view that brother in the neighborhood. Y'all gonna get the same treatment. Y'all gonna get that same treatment, man. You ain't special. You ain't special. You buck dancing out here to be accepted by Whitey. And he got you feeling good about yourself to the point where you disowning your people. All right, y'all, man. I think I'm finna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I think it's somebody at the door. So that's my cue, man. So I appreciate y'all tapping in. I'm gonna probably be back tomorrow around the same time. But I appreciate y'all tapping in, appreciate the comments, appreciate the donations. Y'all enjoy. Y'all enjoy the rest of this Monday. Y'all get y'all some water in, get y'all some fruits and veggies in, get y'all some rest in, some reading, affirmations, meditations, all that good stuff, man. I'm out, y'all. Y'all be easy. Peace.